Welcome to this week's Outfitter Tales from a wet
and Drich, as we say here in Scotland.
Ayrshire. So we're in the polytunnel, which is flowing vegetables and grapes and potatoes and beans and all sorts of crap. But coming up, we have got Sarah from Holland's Country Clothing.
We have some clips from the Outfitter Tales community. Some quite interesting clips. Yes.
Interesting. Bit of news about a short notice competition, which is running alongside our
£250 Holland's
Put your teeth in.
Holland's Country Clothing £250 gift, a giveaway voucher. Yeah. So we'll carry that on.
Coming up.
Just a wee reminder. So what I've got is Sarah and Chris basically just doing a debrief of the stock that was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, good. So meet Sarah from Holland's Country Clothing.
Thank you very much for having me here. So my family business is Holland's Country Clothing, and I have come here to find out all about deer stalking.
I think we've had a nice morning.
We've had a really good morning. I've honestly had the greatest time. I didn't really know what to expect coming in. It has really exceeded all expectations, and I'm not just saying that. I've had a great time, and even if we'd not got a deer, towards the end of this morning I was actually thinking I wouldn't go away feeling like it was a disappointment.
I mean, I spend half my life watching deer. I don't shoot deer most mornings because I don't need to shoot deer most mornings. We only shoot deer when we kind of need to. We've got a great cull book on there, so I mean it's nice to hear that.
Yeah.
And often it surprises me because you think, well, you know, people have come a long way and they're going out stalking,
thinking they're going to be disappointed.
But they never are. But then again, the day, I always said the day that I have to pull a trigger on a deer is the day that I'll put the rifle away and I won't get it out again.
It was one of the things that probably was keeping me up last night a little bit because I didn't have the best night's sleep. I think just that anxious excitement, but I was thinking to myself, have I put too much pressure on myself, or is there any external pressure that it's going to be the expectation for me to pull the trigger? And I didn't feel like that at all, and that certainly wasn't coming from you. Maybe a little bit yesterday I was thinking myself, I was just getting in my head, but then when I was out there this morning I was thinking I am perfectly fine if I do have this experience and it doesn't result in a deer. And that was actually great because then when it came to it I felt a lot calmer. When I couldn't see, and I think he was in the sort of rough grass, I couldn't see clearly at all, and I was thinking if there's an opportunity here, I probably won't take it. But then where that dry log was, there was an opening, wasn't there?
Perfectly.
He just came across and I thought, no, this is perfect. And I was confident taking the shot. I wasn't like, you know, just
No, you were good.
Panic.
You're very. I'm not bullshitting either. You're extremely good shot on the range. One of the best we've ever had, if not the best I've ever had. The first two shots with a rifle. So I let you make the decision there.
Yeah.
I didn't say any time, right? Okay now, because I could see you were rock steady.
Yeah.
Quite a long shot. I mean, you're probably looking at about a 170, but off the bipod. But with, you know, I wouldn't ordinarily have let a first timer do that.
Oh, okay.
But when you can shoot like that off a bipod and you completely you're just tracking it all the way.
Yeah.
You were rock steady.
It's funny, until afterwards I hadn't thought about the distance at all. It was like it just completely, I didn't even think, oh, this is really far or this is near. It just felt like I've got a clear shot, can see it, no problem.
Just backtracking a little bit now, because you know we're working together. You're very kindly supporting us in this venture, but you've never done anything like this before.
No.
So we're interested in from a female perspective.
Yes.
Because it's a demographic that is totally on the wrong spectrum for us
it's not very
in the stalking
represented.
world. Mostly, I've said this to you yesterday. Women are excellent shots.
Yeah.
Generally better than the men. Perfectly honestly. We need to get more women involved.
Yes.
There's something not connecting.
Yeah, so from my perspective, there was a couple of things actually that was sort of piquing my interest and the curiosity. I think the big one, obviously, I co-own Holland's Country Clothing, and I was going to these buying meetings where I was surrounding myself with guys who were very, very knowledgeable. You know, the obvious ones like Argyle, Deer Hunter, Seal, and these reps that I think I felt a little bit ignorant or naive, or maybe just shying away from it, thinking, well, I don't need to know the whys or whats and what happens there. I can just sell the clothing and just tick away, and maybe my brothers can have the knowledge, and that's for them and that's not for me. And maybe part of that was because I was a bit I was a bit maybe judgmental, thinking, oh no, I don't know about that. I'm not sure if I want to get involved in it. But then I kind of started to think, do you know what, Sarah? That's actually a really ignorant thought process, and it's better to go and experience something and then make a judgment than just judge people from the outside. I basically just started consuming content from just trying to educate myself so that I didn't feel stupid when I was in these meetings and people were referencing terms that I just were going straight over my head. So I was consuming content, and I just happened to come across your channel, and I really liked the, as we've said, like the down-to-earth approach and the sort of, I think from being a complete novice point of view, being able to understand where you're coming from without you're not overcomplicating it, which was really nice to see.
And there is that perception. That's a couple of times I've heard that now from Lindsay, who I spoke to. It was this going back to the landed gentry, stalking on the hill, the overnight sleeper up from to Edinburgh and then out, and gilly and ponies and all the rest, which is great.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be a bloke to do that.
No, exactly. Very true.
One could do it just the same, and there are ladies that are doing it. So that we've just got to get the message. So it appears as though our message is, in a small way, getting out there.
Yeah, and nobody, do you know what? Maybe it's you guys, but I'd like to think that nobody's there to make you feel stupid. Or I was asking loads of questions yesterday and today, and at no point have you been like, oh, obvious. Like, you've explained things in a really nice way, and you've been really respectful of me and understanding that I'm coming from a complete novice standpoint. But it's all felt very, no pressure, explain things really clearly. Handling the gun, which I think is probably one of the biggest things that causes the anxiety. By the end of today, I felt a lot more relaxed around it. There's a load of learnings as well that I've taken already from it. Obviously, I feel like I'm just at the very, very start of my journey, but even just, I was saying, like the manoeuvring of the tripod, I think that's something that's a skill almost that you need to learn.
The quad sticks.
The quad sticks, because obviously we ended up taking the shot in a prone position, but we had the sticks out at one point, and when it was coming along the fence, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, because we were in the long grass. Shall I try and pick it up, or shall I try and manoeuvre it here? But then you're off balancing yourself, aren't you? So I was like, that
position was tricky.
Yeah.
Because you've got long vegetation. We kind of stood tucked into a bush, basically, because we want to be concealed. It's very difficult. It'd be difficult for me to do that. You've physically got to almost lift the thing up and kind of move it like that. But again, you were comfortable at that. You were comfortable on there.
Yeah.
If we're not confident and you're not confident, crucially, that's what I kept banging on. You need to see that when you pull that trigger,
absolutely,
that round is going where you're aiming, which it was every time. Yeah. So you're confident. You had no, and I said to you up there, when you get on deer, it's going to be totally different.
Yeah.
This is a paper target. It's harder to shoot a paper target than a deer.
Yeah.
The paper target, all you're doing is concentrating about the paper target or technique, the rifle, Get on a deer, and you said this to me this morning, you'll forget all of that. You will be totally and utterly focused on that deer.
Yeah, I was just like zoned in, and I was hyper focused on what you were saying, but I was also like, right, it just literally the deer, that was all, everything else just went black.
You just focused on it, locked on.
Yeah. Let me ask you, from my perspective, what would you say to somebody that maybe wouldn't understand or doesn't currently understand why I'm here and why I'm going about it? To the people, because I think I would say I was one of those people. I had this perception of deer stalkers as being these weird blokes like ambling through the forest, and no offence, but maybe like oh, they're doing it because they just want to go out and it's just like a blood sport. And actually that's something, one of the biggest takeaways for me is actually
it's not
your thought process behind what, like there was deer that you just completely ignored, like one just ran past us and I kind of looked and I thought, well, he's definitely seen it, but you just didn't even, you were like, absolutely not.
No.
And then there was a pregnant one, and you just...
People have got this perception, I think you said at breakfast this morning, we're just going to walk out there, I'm going to shoot half a dozen deer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, sometimes think, leave them in the field, I don't know, whatever they're thinking, I don't know. When they come and talk to people like us and understand the deer management, the ethics of what we do, everything we shoot, we eat, it's all going into the food chain, but it's more than that. It's the management of a wild species. Man has interfered with nature. Man has created a huge imbalance. Some species do extremely well, some species struggle. It's no good saying, well, let nature take its course, because we've buggered nature up.
Yeah.
Unless there's a massive reset, nature won't take its course. Like, certain predators are just, there are too many of them, and that's having a real negative effect on other species. Deer are doing extremely well.
Yes.
Deer do extremely well around man. The habitat and the landscape that we've created over the last 40 years has suited deer absolutely down to the ground, and they're doing very nicely out of it, thank you. There is no natural predator.
No.
There are no natural predators for deer. if you get a massive overpopulation, then the only thing that will control them is disease. All we need to do is manage the species.
Yeah.
All our ground we manage deer. We speak to the owner, we speak to the land agent, whatever, and it depends what they want.
Yeah.
It's their land after all. So for example, if it's an extremely expensive conifer forest or a broadleaf wood that's been planted, deer need to be within a certain level, otherwise they'll damage that woodland.
Of course, yeah.
For natural woodland with natural regeneration, deer have got to be at a certain level in order for the woodland to grow.
Yeah.
It can coexist, but it can't coexist if the balance is wrong.
Of course. I think people would think you just, whatever you'd come across, you'd be like, right,
You're gonna shoot.
get it, yeah. And actually that's really nice to know that you're all those thought processes behind. That was like, that really lifted the lid for me on something that I'd just not thought about.
And if we're not going to use the deer, we're not going to shoot the deer.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we supply the restaurants, and that's part of getting the message across.
Yeah, that actually, from a food point of view, that obviously I understand from the conservation aspect, but actually the healthy meat that is the end product, that is, I mean, people that are going in the supermarket buying meat, and I'm not judging anybody because I do that, but it started to change my outlook a little bit, and that's part of the reason why I was curious, because I thought, do you know what, isn't that way more ethical and sustainable and better for me? And I'm starting to think now, where can I get my
Well, exactly.
venison
I mean,
from?
it is. You're right. I mean, it's the healthiest red meat there is.
Yeah.
You couldn't get any more organic. There's no chemicals in that.
Exactly, yeah.
There's no air miles in it.
No.
So anybody that objects to what we do, that's fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem. If people object to shooting and stalking, that's fine. Do it on the basis of fact, though.
Yes.
Come and have a conversation with people and understand that.
Exactly.
Then, if you still want to make the judgment, that's fine.
And I think as well, just from a welfare point of view.
Yeah.
So yes, very healthy, but also I think what happened today, it was all over very, very quickly, incredibly quickly. You could talking like a couple of minutes maximum from when we got down on the ground and
to bringing it back.
Yeah. Well,
good.
thank you so much for the opportunity.
Great,
It's been
great
really,
to see you up here.
yeah, really eye-opening.
Oh, great, lovely. Thanks for coming
Cheers.
up.
Thank
Great
you very
stuff.
much.
For a lot of years, I felt that we should be getting different people into stalking and field sports and sort of anything country sports really, because it generates a conversation with different people, which is important. I mean, it's the same old. We're all talking, you know.
I think the thing with Sarah as well is she was doing it for all the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean, and I think most of the we've had two. I mean, Lindsay and Max came along as first-time people.
Oh, we've had loads of women.
Well, loads of women, yeah, but recently. It's sort of younger people. There tends to be there's a bit of a kind of an age thing with stalking to a degree, and it's kind of males generally, a bit very male dominated, and the conversation needs to be spread. So we need people like Sarah, we need people like Lindsay. We've got a different group of people, different social circles to be having the conversations that we're trying to generate about the ethic of shooting field to fork, the whole thing.
If anything, it's dispelling that sort of image that some people have in their head.
Yes. Yeah,
that we're all just out there, big macho men, bloodthirsty, killing shit because we love it.
Yeah, so the whole thing, really kind of enjoyed doing that. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about now? Oh yes, this is good. I like this. We're going to bring you. I'm going to say clips urban deer, and I'll say no more about that.
So here we go. The first one.
Okay,
so that's the first clip. Obviously, we'll save the conversation for the. So we've now got a second clip here up in Argyle. Here we go, guys.
Hi now. Hi. What are you doing? Stealing my fucking piece back. Oi, stop it. Oi. Go. What's up? Hey, steal my piece back. Oi. Stop it. Go.
Right guys, obviously that was one clip from a doorbell cam, and the second clip was up in Argyle on a red. So first one was roe deer, second one obviously red stag. But it just showing you what's happening with the deer at the moment.
I think
urbanisation and the lack of fear.
We have this conversation running the DSC level 1 courses. It's a conversation that we have an awful lot, because one of the questions I distinctly remember on one of the papers is, you're out stalking, and basically, effectively what it's saying is a deer approaches you and it doesn't run off, it's got no fear of you, is that normal behaviour? Well, for our deer here, no it's not. But for these deer, it is. So what is normal and what is normal? I mean, they are getting used to people. Yeah. I mean, we stalk an area underneath a quarry. That quarry's been going for 180 years. Those deer that live underneath that quarry and have been born with that quarry, and it's just a normal way of life. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, they start the machine up, the earth crusher, it makes a hell of a noise, and we could be stalking down below it within 50 yards, and the deer don't even look up. Now, is that normal behaviour? Yeah, because that's perfectly normal. Drive on that road and slam a car door and they're off like a blinking shot.
Or stop and put the window down.
And have a look, and they're away. I mean, there's quite a famous one. It's been on television quite a lot. I think it was a church in Glasgow where there was a group of 3 or 4 roe deer. I think it was Glasgow. 3 or 4 roe deer living in a churchyard, and people are going to church on a Sunday and they're actually browsing around. Is it normal? Yes, it is, because they've been born there. Yeah. But it's not normal behaviour generally. I think if people are stalking the edges of parkland or anything, deer escape from there, they're used to people. Yeah. Down at Childers in Bedford, we're stalking Chinese water deer.
If you're walking a dog.
If you're walking a dog, hundreds of people walk a dog in there. They're not interested. Stop and pay attention to them.
As soon as you start walking slightly slowly
and stalking them, they're off. So, but it's interesting to show that. Yeah. It is interesting. I mean, a roebuck walking through your garden and almost ringing your doorbell. Yeah. I like that.
Thanks to Darren, Trainer, and Chris Sambarek for sending those clips in, guys.
Good. Yeah.
If you guys have got any sort of interesting clips as well, please get them in and we'll put them on the show.
Right, so coming up, we've got, now you're going to brief on this one because I don't know a great deal about it, but we've sort of some great news about MyHunt and a competition. Right, over to you.
This is a limited period hunt, guys, so this will be running out on the 30th, at midnight on the 30th of this month, so it's only going to be for a week, and it's basically a 2-day stalk on stags up in Argyle for red and sika. Your first deer will be free, so no matter what size it is, the first one will be free, and then you can pay for any more after that. But it's basically, that'll be you up there on the 16th and 17th of October. Yeah. So hopefully that'll be sort of still during the rut. It'll be sort of towards the tail end.
Then, yeah, it should be rutting then.
Again, it's all weather dependent, but so you'll be there in the thick of it.
That is a good gift.
Yeah. Right, guys. So to enter, it's not a competition; it's just a draw. So the MyHunt app. Me and a few of the syndicate guys have been using it recently. It's basically, what it does is it details all of your sort of hunt. You map in all your permissions, as some people call them, but basically your stalking areas. And what it does is, I'll show you in a second, but basically you can input all your cull data there, so it keeps a cull record of where, the time, the weight, and obviously what species of deer and sex and everything it is. So you'll then have a pinpoint on that there then. But the thing I find really good is it
will show
this in detail. It details all your areas. But the best thing for me personally is, obviously with all the areas we've got, you can never sort of remember, just looking at the weather app, which direction the wind's coming from. Yeah. Well, this actually shows you live wind direction on your app. So it shows, it's quite good, because you can
brilliant for that.
Right, that's the wind, right, which direction do I need to come in from, because obviously a lot of areas you might have 2 entry and exit points, but I find it really good. And as I say, for our syndicate guys, it's ideal, because I can just send them this, I can transfer all this data straight to them, and then that's them. They've got everything that I've got, including boundaries and everything, away.
Brilliant.
Good to go. Right, so basically to enter this competition, you need to go into the Pro MyHunt app and subscribe to their Pro.
We will put a link. I'm doing it this week.
Go on then.
We will put a link in here for you.
So basically, you get 2 weeks there for free anyway. So if you subscribe to that the Pro MyHunt subscription, but you enter that, and anyone who's got the Pro subscription on the 30th will then, so obviously
go into the draw.
Yeah, we'll go straight into the draw. So look forward to seeing one of you lucky people up there.
That's good. I mean, it's cracking ground.
Yeah.
Lovely. Accommodation's nice.
Obviously, we're going to cover more on this MyHunt app again
In the coming.
in the coming sort of weeks. It's just something I've come across, and I actually find it really, really useful.
And don't forget that our own competition this month, thank you Holland's Country Clothing, great prize again, is £250 voucher to spend on whatever you like from Holland's. They've got a lot of sales on at the moment and offers on at the moment, so if you're thrifty like what we are, then you can get a real deal out of it.
A Scotsman and a Yorkshireman in
All
Scotland.
together, yeah, absolutely. You couldn't get a flipping worse combination when it comes to being thrifty and tight. But just to reiterate, it is easy. If you have not already subscribed to YouTube Outfitter Tales channel, subscribe. That's you in. If you have, follow our Facebook page, click the follow and tag in 3 friends. Quick update on what we've been doing. Both Stalking this morning.
Yeah, I was out DSC level 2.
Level 2, successful. I was out with Lindsay on her return trip, successful. We'll do a little bit more about that later.
One to come, so look forward to Lindsay getting a...
Yeah.
Shall we say what it was she got this morning?
Yeah, she got a stag. On a restock, basically a restock site, so that's good. Just a reminder, or not even a reminder, just to let you know that it's the Scottish Game Fair, second weekend in July. I think it's 7th and 8th or something round about that. To have a look online. But Rab will be on a stand that we're sharing with the Countryside Alliance. So come along and say hello. We're probably going to run another little competition thing going on, and all you've got to physically do is turn up to the stand and say hello, and there'll be a little bit more to it than that, but it's easy. I'll be floating in and out because I'm up there with Anne. He'll be working. I don't know where Steve is. He's hiding. I'm around there somewhere, so you might catch me, you might not. But come and talk to him anyway. You can get more sense out of him than you will me. Great show that actually. Be there on the you're there all the.
I'm Friday, Saturday,
Sunday. I'll be there on the Friday. So come along, have a look at that. Good show.
See you there, guys. Hopefully we'll have a wee chat. Nice.
And another giveaway.
And another. So this one will be in conjunction with Talon gear, I believe.
Oh really?
Yes.
I might even have a go myself.
I think we'll throw in maybe something nice.
So that's about it then, really.
Yep.
From a wet Ayrshire, although we do need the rain, and from a flourishing polytunnel, it's a good night from me.
And it's a good night from him.
And remember, keep subscribing, keep watching. We need the subscribing, and get family, friends, anybody else involved. The more, the merrier. It means we can bring these shows to you.
Good luck, guys. See you soon.
Cheers.